super excited to just pass the word to Mehak. So thank you very much for the availability. Thank you very much for the time. And the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Farah. I will begin by sharing my screen. All right. Hopefully the screen is fully visible. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Mehak Rohra. I'm a data platform engineer here at FREENOW, and today I'd be giving you an overview of the automated announcement process that we built around our data assets, utilizing open metadata features at its core. My agenda for today is to provide you with a short introduction about our organization, then dive into the data infrastructure at FREENOW that leads to the need for advanced announcement capabilities, provide you a short demo about the entire process and show you the workings, the technical architecture, and then wrap up with some insights. All right, let's go. So we're a multi-mobility service provider with taxis at our core. We have over 150,000 drivers with services including e-scooters, e-bikes, e-mopeds, car sharing, private hires, and so forth. And our aim is to always provide safe and sustainable transport for all people. We are currently in 9 countries, spread out over 150 cities, with partnership with major multi-mobility partners across Europe, and we continue to grow. Well, that's all about FREENOW. Before I actually dive into the announcement capabilities, let me quickly introduce you to the data infrastructure at FREENOW. So we follow a data mesh organization, and this is quite decentralized. So all data ownership lies with teams within their own domain. And at the same time, we have a centralized governance strategy and platforms where people can collaborate effectively and while managing their specific domains. Cumulatively speaking, our data teams oversee over 17,000 different tabular assets, which are spread out across 400 different schemas, and data is transferred or ingested through them, given with 300 different data pipelines and more. And this huge framework actually supports over 4,000 reports and dashboards within the company that are spread out across 3 different reporting platforms. And when it comes to such an ecosystem, let's imagine if you have a legacy asset that is cataloged somewhere and you'd like to deprecate this or update this with some information, then you have many dependencies downstream. And then the challenges that you have to address here is that you have to make sure that when such an update or a deprecation happens, that you effectively communicate this information in a consistent manner to all of the affected assets downstream. You are making sure that your stakeholders are receiving timely notifications, which are critical for them to make the updates. They are receiving periodic reminders so that they're given ample amount of time to be able to be aware of what's going on before the actual update takes place. So these are the initial challenges that had to be addressed while making sure that all of the information that is going out is sent from one place and is consistent when it is sent across different domains or to different owners. And that is exactly where open metadata comes into place, where all our data is actually cataloged. And we have 2 very cool features here. First one of them being the announcement feature, which you can use to notify your entire team for any different changes that come to your data asset. And this will be available as a banner on top of that data asset page in open metadata. And the second feature I would say is the lineage feature in open metadata, where you can actually track the flow of data across your asset, from upstream assets to the connected asset, and finally to downstream assets. And there you can actually map and see all of the dependencies. And these are super cool features. And what we try to do is take these and somehow thought of amplifying them into a global communication process. And that was our vision. So we have the announcements, we have a way to actually retrieve lineage and view it. And what we did actually is took Slack, which is our major communication platform, integrated it with a RESTful service, including the platform OpenMetadata, and then amplified it to this communication process, where we would actually start our process with Slack and then somehow broadcast all of the information to all other platforms and OpenMetadata and to all of the teams. So that is exactly what we set out to build. And let me first actually give you a small overview of the technical architecture. So point A would be the Slackbot integration, where this is where you actually would give the command and start giving the place where you could actually start giving the command to add an announcement for an asset or an update that you would like to give. So you could think of it as you interacting with the bot, which is your front end, and the B part would then be the back end, which is our Flask app, which is then also communicating with OpenMetadata at all times, which was actually going to handle all of the logic, all of the interactions with the APIs, analyze all of your requests, and give appropriate responses. And that is a very surface level overview of the technical architecture. Let me actually give you a short demo of how this announcement process actually works. Okay, so here we are at the Open Metadata platform for an asset we have, and we would like to add an update about this asset. And here we are in the announcements section, and we're not going to directly add announcements here. So we head over to Slack, we head over to our bot, and we add a command about wanting to add an announcement. And what this is simply going to do is actually send a post request to your backend, and simply this is going to trigger a series of functions. So let's see. We want to add an announcement, the intent has been recognized, and now we simply would like to continue. And once we have that, what you see here is an announcement form with details which are actually analogous to the announcement feature in Open Metadata. So what you have here is a title of the announcement where you could actually put what's going on about the asset. Then you have the description of the announcement, which will let you know, okay, this has been updated or this has been deprecated. Then you have the validity period of the announcement, that is the start date of when this announcement is valid from. Then you have the end date. And then here you have some extra features, such as you can actually directly from this particular form also express your intent to broadcast this to other more important communication channels that you might have where you would want this information to go. And once all of this is done, we simply click on submit and wait. And this is where I would say the real magic happens here when you are actually giving two commands, filling one form with the announcement title and the description. What's happening at the back end is actually this data is being taken. Your back end is communicating with Open Metadata to retrieve all information about the asset, including all of the dependencies and who owns those dependencies. And let's say this particular asset has about 300 plus dependencies. So the backend is going to retrieve that information via their APIs, process that information, and then pragmatically build one announcement for each particular owner and then send it, broadcast it all in one go. Plus, it's going to send that particular information to the channels that you selected. And last but not the least, it's going to also make sure that for 24/7 visibility, that announcement goes back to Open Metadata. So you have one space, a centralized space, and you broadcast all of your information in a consistent manner from this particular space. Now let's look at actually some of the notifications that we received back from the bot. So for impact analysis, whatever lineage you have from Open Metadata side is also sent to the announcement poster, and this will help them keep track of all of the dependencies. You will get notification about, okay, my announcement was successfully sent to all of the affected asset owners, and it was also successfully posted to Open Metadata, which we can go and check. And voila, you see that the same announcement actually was also successfully posted to Open Metadata. If we head back to Slack and let's just see how the actual announcements that were dynamically built for each owner would look like. I also received one of them. So the first thing we could see is we could also view it in Open Metadata from that particular Slack bot message. And it's here. So it's consistent visibility and 24/7 visibility for everybody. And then using some Slack formatting, using JSON blocks, we simply make it look like a proper announcement. And here we have the date posted, the author, the actual announcement, the validity period, and then finally an FYI section, which is dynamic for every owner, informing them of their affected asset. And another extra cool feature here is a reminder feature. So if any owner actually clicks on that button, this is also recorded towards the backend. And within a week, this particular announcement as a notification will also be sent to this owner. So periodic reminders will be taking place until, of course, they are stopped or until the validity period comes to an end. So that's all, I think. Yes, so one central space and all information is traveling from one central space to every platform that you would like for it to travel to. And because it is recorded, it is very useful to later check and align with our governance strategy. And that's all. It's time to wrap it up from my side. My takeaway message from here is that we're not trying to communicate more, but we're trying to actually communicate in a better and in an efficient manner. And this demo that you just saw tells us that, okay, so there is full visibility in the platform where we are cataloging all of our data. We're making sure that there is a centralized communication hub where every information can travel from. You have improved asset tracking. So the announcement poster has information about all of the dependencies, and that is finally leading up to an enhanced communication process. This one announcement that we just put for a single asset impacted up to 300 more assets downstream and all of their owners. And not just that, all of your assets that are then present in Open Metadata will be impacted by this particular process, and it will all be automated. And that's all. Thank you so much.